Hello, my name is Sara Troy, and I'm here on Voices of Growth for Success Summit. It's an honor to be here. From experience to illumination, sharing wisdom that serves. We don't grow it alone. We grow it with collaboration, with extension of ourselves, with branching out, with encompassing in. We grow in reflection and conversation in shared experience. We hear someone else speak their truth, not from theory, but from the pedestal, not from the pedestal, but from a lived life. Something within us softens. We recognize ourselves. We see our own struggles mirrored back, not as failures, but as a part of becoming. This recognition is where growth begins. Why you lived wisdom matters more than ever. We're in a world overflowing with information and starving of wisdom. Expertise isn't perfection. Expertise is experience. Is what you've lived and what you've navigated and what you've stumbled through and what you've learned to apply, not just what you know, but how you use it. Wisdom is experience refined through reflection and then offered forward in service. Please don't learn just from those who claim to have all the answers. They learn from those who have walked the path. Because when we hear someone else's journey, we see ourselves. We are seeing ourselves. We begin to understand and how we can move forward on our own path with more courage, more clarity, and far less judgment. Self-judgment. That is something that we really have to face. Has it been imposed upon us? Did we impose it upon ourselves? Why do we feel judgment is needed there in the first place? The ripple effect of one's voice. This is where the ripple begins. When we speak to impress, we seek to approval. When we speak to be useful, we offer substance. Substance supports. Substance serves. Substance stays with people long after the talk ends. The world does not need a polished version of someone else. It needs you and all your wonderful experience, all your ups and downs, all your reflections. Your voice matters. Your experience matters. Your intentions matter. And your desire to illuminate the path for others, even if you're still walking it yourself, is exactly why we all need to be here. Generosity builds trust. Trust grows in generosity. When we are generous with our time, our insights, our intentions to guide rather than glorify, people feel it. They sense when wisdom is offered freely, not to elevate the speaker, but to support the listener. Generosity says, I'm not here for self-glory. I'm here because I care. And that is why meaningful resource, and it's about not gathering names and more people in your database and more people to send things out to. It's about extending the conversation that becomes the illumination, the conversation that is the inspiration. And that inspiration becomes the invitation. And that is when we grow. What makes it a meaningful resource? Everybody talks about a lead magnet. What do you need as a lead magnet? Well, if you're looking at it, practical, something people can actually use, heart aligned, born from purpose and not pressure, not expectation, not dictation, not following somebody else's path, but coming from the heart. Through the years of interviewing, people on my podcast nearly 14 years. I interview those that come from the heart, and those that come from the heart are felt. They're heard because they're felt. People that are grandstanding and glorifying, it's just a lot of words, a lot of hype, a lot of sugar high, and it leaves people feeling empty. It's going back to that conversation. Heart aligned are born from that purpose, not pressure, because it's easy to apply and be supportive and not overwhelming. It meets people where they are and offers one a very, very clear step forward because of the example of what they share, of the journey that they've shared. One voice, one insight, reaching many, many lives. You will never see how far your words travel, but you might see where your actions go. You will never know who listens quietly to your conversation, who took one small step because of it. Something you've shared ignites them, illuminates the path. And they found hope in it simply because they felt less alone. I know in my own life, the ripple of effect of encouragement and positivity and has been my self-empowerment, has shaped my journey more than any strategy ever could. Someone else's belief in me, sometimes spoken, sometimes simply felt, helped me take the next step when I didn't know what the whole road was ahead. And that is how wisdom moves. Not by grand gestures, but in honest ones. Visibility as a service, not as a self-promotion. Visibility is often misunderstood. It isn't about, again, the grandstanding. It is about the service, about the purpose, the why. Why are you doing what you're doing? It's showing people the sunny side of the street, that when they've been walking in the shadows, it's offering light, not by pulling anyone forward, but by standing in a place where they can own clarity, and it becomes a lamp for the others. It becomes a realization that there are people all around them that can help them on their journey, people that have taken their journey before them, people with the wisdom and the knowledge, people who care. And that they're there when you're ready, when you're walking on that sunny side of the street, but they cannot come into the dark to get you. It has to be your free will to come out on that sunny side of the street. When we share knowledge that really can be used, not just admired, but used, we help others illuminate their own path. This is the difference between performing and showing up authentically. When we perform, we play a role. When we show up authentically, we are the role. We are the truth of our existence in our lived wisdom, our humanity, and our light. Speaking to be useful and not impressive, the deep freedom in choosing usefulness over impressiveness. For those people who are ready to explore and reflect and move forward in greater clarity and in self-trust, that's the reason why I have been doing these shows, my podcasting shows, for the last nearly 14 years. This is the reason why, through sickness, through struggle, through anything else, that I have got here to my computer to share someone's story, someone's illumination, someone's inspiration, someone's abilities, so that it helps shed light on other people who've walked the path. See, when we are being who we are, not just doing what we're doing, but being who we are, we really do shed light on a path before us that then glows all around us. Our beingness, our essence of who we are, our heart, our soul, our spirit, our energy is felt by other people. It becomes an illumination because it becomes something that opens them up, that helps them extend into possibility, helps them take off the blinkers and move forward and into seeing something that can be more reflective. We may be very skilled in what we do, but it's so much more important in who you are. Who you are will dictate that what you do well. See, there's an awful lot of people that have skills, but unless they understand why they have those skills, how to truly use those skills, whom to use those skills for, how to engage people with those skills, they are just skills. When we can reach out to people and show them that we care, and that we are coming from the heart, that we truly want to see them grow and thrive and become, when they can see that we're really invested in their growth, it helps everyone. In the last nearly 14 years, I have grown tremendously. I came from a place of despair after investing in something that got stolen and left me homeless. Being homeless in your late 50s, living out of a car, isn't too much fun. And somebody asked me to join their podcast network, and I didn't even know what a podcast was. That was back in 2012. I joined her podcast network. I was there 13 months, live shows, a great training ground, and I got hooked. I had betrayal all around me. I had a sense of failure. I had lacking. I felt lost. And here I am hearing other people who have found their courage, found their strength, found their abilities, and stepped into that beautiful light so they can shine bright for others. It became my healing. It became my inspiration. It became my own self-awareness, my own personal growth, my own illuminant. And as I learned more and more about me, more and more, I let go of things that did not serve me, and I became peace. Peace at being with me, peace in who I am, why I am, what I'm here to do, trust in what I'm here to do, trust in how I do it, and a surrender and allowing to that beautiful energy, God, universe, spirit, source, energy, whatever you wish to call it. I call it universal energy, to allow it to come through me in that wisdom, to resonate with truth in my heart, to give it to my spirit in action, for my mind to know the clarity it needed to know when it needed to know it. The knowingness, not the dictating of what I should know, not the expectation, not something or somebody offering me this and that and grandioses. I don't do the podcast for grandioses. I don't do it to have trillions of followers. My shows are long, an hour plus. They're for the people that are all ready to listen. And my mottos are listen, learn, and apply. When we listen and we truly learn something and then we apply it, we notice that it gives us a shift. It could be a toe, it could be a foot, could be a yard, but it's a shift in our perspective, a shift in our thinking, a shift in our being. It lightens us up or it opens us up. It takes off the blinkers. It makes us more informed. And it allows us to explore. One of the things as human beings is that we've forgotten how to explore. We've forgotten how to be adventurous, how to have the sheer joy in exploring something just to discover what it could be. When we watch children growing, and I have 3 grandsons, and I watch them learning to crawl, learning to walk, learning to run, exploring different things, becoming self-assured with what they're doing, what they've learned. It's a reminder for us. Did we become complacent? Did we become lethargic? Did we step into lackitude instead of gratitude? Have we stopped learning? Have we stopped discovering? Have we stopped inquiring? Stagnancy is not what is for human beings. We are fluid creatures. Everything in our blood, in our oxygen, in our chi, our energy must be in flow. Our thoughts, our well-being, everything in flow, in rhythm. That is the life source, in flow. Without that flow, oxygen, blood, energy, we become sick, we become stagnant, we face death. We are always meant to be in discovery, we're always meant to be in flow, we're always meant to be inquisitive, wondrous, to see what else is there. That's part of our growth. I'm 71 years young. I've made a contract with the universe to still podcast until I'm 90, if I'm still able to. Because my age is only my experience. I've interviewed people as young as 10 and as old as 92. The 92-year-old with her own TV show and took a new lover at 90. The 10 on 365 days of gratitude with a positive attitude. A great reminder to us adults to just live a little more in gratitude, not the lackitude. I have a program called The Discovery of Self, where I take people through their true colors, 4 key personality types. Which one are they? That helps us actually understand how we receive and are perceived, how we interact from which part of our brain, and where we feel safe and where we feel we can flow. I mean, understanding that personality trait allows us to conduct our own beautiful divine selves forward with more confidence. I also take people's numerology, Chineseology, and astrology, and I look for the common denominators between all of the personality traits and the weaknesses, the strengths, things that you're never going to be strong at, things you can strengthen, things that are already strong, and how to navigate yourself. And I believe that this helps us on the human front of knowing who we are from a human perspective, how we see, how we interact, how we navigate through life. And I think it gives us a better understanding to be free, knowing where we feel safe in that freedom. I also have a particular program called Your View of Life, which goes in with the package. And our view of life, your view of life is a metaphorical journey that you take to show how engaged you are in your own life. It is always eye-opening for the person to see what the results are and to realize how maybe unengaged they are in their own lives. We are conditioned, after all, to obey, don't rock the boat, stay in your own lane. Who do you think you are? You're only important if you look like this, you have this car, that house, that job, this amount of money, and you know these amount of people. All of that is balderdash. Every single one of that is there to set you up for failure and destruction, because that's called outside living. It's not where your growth is, not where your truth is, not where your service is. That comes from the inside. The inside is showing you how to live from the compass, the core of you, where your heart and soul and spirit align at that very core. And you know that somebody's come and do this and you feel on the core. Not for me. It's not fear-based. It's got nothing to do with the head. It's the core, the compass. You can feel the hand pushing you back and go, no. And you just have to trust that. You don't have to question. It will be revealed or not, but just trust it. The times I've gone against it and pushed forward because of my head are always the times I've made the biggest mistake. It is our guidance system, our compass, the core of our very being, the core of God's love. It is our truth. It is our compassion, our empathy, our understanding. It is our surrender, our allowing. It is our home. And when we come from that place and we are being in our beautiful, true essence of who we are as a beautiful, divine creature. Whatever we do from the beingness. It isn't about everybody gets you, everybody follows you, everybody this, everybody that. It's not about popularity. It's not about numbers. It's not about rah, rah, rah. It's about being at home with self, being in your own truth. It is like a beautiful exhale of peace and love in harmony. We still ride highs and lows, but they're in rhythm, they're in flow. They always know how to come back to a safe place. It isn't about the extremes or the absolute highs and the crashing lows, which is what society has been doing to us for way too long. Be the top of your game authentically. Be the top of your game coming from your very beingness. That know whatever somebody else has perceived as a top doesn't have a height for you. It's not about the top or the middle. It's about the expansion of your message, the expansion of your beingness, the expansion of your wisdom. It's not about the numbers going up. It's about how do you embrace around the ripple effect from side to side, wonderfully rippling out in a way that ignites, excites, grows, seeds. What kind of tree are you? I'm a willow tree. And here at 71, my roots are very, very deeply, deeply set through life experience of what I will and will not do, and what I want, what I don't want. My trunk, through that life experience, and my resilience is strong. And I have many, many branches of things I've done, or things I'm doing, or things that I still wish to do. I can have all those branches as long as they're flexible and go with the wind. Because if they're rigid, the wind will break them off. If they're flexible, they'll go with the flow. They'll wave back and forth, and I will weather any storm. We want you to succeed. We want you to grow. We want you to be all that you are meant to be. You were born a gift. You were born with abilities that you were meant to share. That is your gift. And your discovery of self is discovering what those gifts are, how to use them, and whom to use them for. Not again the outside dictation, but the inside reveal, the inside discovery, the inside wonderment. As Lady Gaga says, excuse me, I was born this way. I've been a spiritual person my entire life before I knew that there was anything called spirituality and religion. I was just in that zone. Some people call it la la land, and like I was out in my twilight zone. But no, I was kind of traveling dimensions, talking to dead people, feeling something that needed to be said for someone, just downloading it. As a child, having no idea what I'm saying, or why I'm saying it, just that I'm saying it. That person needed to hear it. Then forgot it, moved on, very much in the present. Then I grew up, became a young adult, and then it was all about survival, popularity, wanting to be loved, wanting to love, loving in all the wrong places. I was still a disruptor for good, always shaking up wherever I went in the establishment as to what was wrong. And I did none of this deliberately. Is that I would shed light on something that had been status quo and that was wrong, and it would bring about change. Then I would move on because that's what I was meant to do. This is the longest career I've had in any work I've ever done, because I'm truly can be Sara doing it. I've participated in books, Dare to Live Fearlessly. I'm not selfish, I'm just not easily manipulated. Mission Accepted 262. And Forgotten Children is a book that I produced and wrote in around the raising of our children. And I wrote my own book, Sara's Self-Discovery to Soul Living. All of those possibilities came to me just purely from me being who I am. People asking me to be a part of it, me creating the book because it was a desire to shed light on the system that's wrong around our children. And here in 2026, I want to produce our Forgotten Seniors book and produce a book around what our seniors have done, all the wonderful things they've contributed to us, the challenges of being a senior today, and a warning to the youth. Take care of your senior sip now before it comes knocking at your door. Each decade produces new issues, new problems, new discoveries. And as we're walking into a world of AI, and I had a very interesting podcast with AI, I interviewed it, and it was quite an extraordinary conversation. I do use it. I look at it as a collectiveness of human intelligence from across the board. And yes, it is an algorithm. It will attach to what you, your flow, your rhythm. But although it is a wonderful tool, we've just got to remember it is a tool and never lose ourselves in it, but allow ourselves to be the voice that it edits or refines or supports or encourages. But it is an assistant, and it can be a wonderful assistant. But it's not we allow it to, because we abstain of being in our own presence, in our own essence, in our own lives. We want life to become easier, and when we make life easier, we lose a little of ourselves each time. There is a certain amount of struggle that we're meant to have in order to grow, in order to rise up, in order to become more than what we are. And the more than what we are isn't based on being the six figures and the rah-rah. It is more of being who we are in a higher consciousness, that consciousness of love. That consciousness of love and that higher frequency, we cannot knowingly do harm to anyone. To do so would be to harm ourselves. And that consciousness of love is based in kindness, caring, compassion, empathy, collaboration, consideration, adaptation. It's not about judgment. It's not about hierarchy. It's not about opulence or greed or power or control. It's about surrender, about allowing, about feeling the wisdom, knowing how to use it, where to use it, to whom to use it for. It's about expansion of our soul, expansion of our spirit, expansion of our consciousness. For when we rise as a human race to this higher consciousness, we will step into peace because we've become the peace. We step into love because we've become the love. We will have less problems in the world like war and greed and power and control and dominance, because it will be more about unity and community and coming together as an orchestra in a symphony that resonates out to everyone on that higher frequency. It is about that growth. And when we step into that growth, that's when we truly actually understand why we are what we are and what we're here to do, why curiosity builds trust, why speaking to be useful, not impressive, why the ripple effect of one's voice, or living in your wisdom matters more than ever, or visibility is a service, not a promotion, why from experience to illumination, sharing wisdom that serves, why all of that is important, why all of it is where we need to be in order to serve one another, serve our community, but become the breath, become the life essence, become the life force that then serves everyone else. We don't want you to oxygenate everyone else and not yourself. We want you to become that oxygen that is for everyone else, because you have it in abundance. We want you to enrich your own life become abundant in your own life. And that doesn't mean bank account, although money is important, as it is a tool that helps to sustain and support us. It is not there to define us or dictate to us. Again, another tool. The enrichment of your heart and soul, the abundance of your presence and spirit, that's where the true commerce is. It's in that loving consciousness. And the more we dive into that, the more we become that, the more we open up to the essence of our beingness, the more we become the solution to what ails the world. The more we unite, hold hands. I know it sounds a lot like kumbaya, but in everything there is a basis of truth. And if you go back to the beginning of all religions, you will see that it is based in love, in equality, in support of one another, in looking at each other as a gift of what we are, not the differences of what you deem us to be. The differences are the different flavors of life, the different musical instrument in the orchestra, the different experience shared. And that's what makes us so exciting. All these wonderful different cultures, all these wonderful different points of view. Yet when we break it down and strip it down, and we look at the common denominator, we're all looking for the same thing. To love, to be loved, to be of service, to be of purpose, to live a life that is enriched and purposeful and meaningful. That's something that makes us feel safe in who we are and why we are and what we do. To share our smile, share our joy, share our tears, to uplift, to empower, to make someone's life better. Because the more lives become better, the more the world heals. So whatever you're doing out there, whatever your service is, I have done 3,000 shows of people that are in service. Maybe they've written a book and shared wisdom that way. Maybe they have a program or counseling or coaching or just an awareness. Maybe they stand for something, veterans, children, animals. Maybe they've incorporated something to heal you, to help you heal yourself. They've all taken this journey because this journey chose them. They're all here to serve you because that's their meaningful purpose. They're all here to lift you up because the higher you rise, the better we all are. I've had the honor of interviewing these people over the last nearly 14 years. I've had the honor of sharing their stories, their illumination, their inspiration that begets invitation. And from them, I have learned to become Sara. And I have seen that there is always an answer when you're willing to listen and you're willing to learn and you're willing to apply. You'll always see there's always a solution. And that you may be the solution for someone. You may be the solution with your program, with your course, with your book, with your wisdom, with your knowledge. You may be what somebody's looking for on their journey of life. And you owe it to them to share it, to empower them. It's not notches in the belt. It's about giving somebody wings, wings to fly, to be themselves. That's really the true empowerment is. We're all here as a gift to share with one another, to raise us all up to that higher frequency of love, to become the healing for this world, this planet, this universe, and to expand our wisdom beyond the stratosphere. So may your growth not just be financial or popularity, may it also be integrity, in divine presence, in the consciousness and the core of who you are, and in the embracing of the essence of your being. May you embrace yourself, love who you are, why you are, and what you're here to do, so that you can be of better service to someone else. I wish you all love. I wish you all life. I wish you all illumination, so that you can shine bright for us all to see the path forward. Please do visit selfdiscoverywisdom.com. That is where you will find all the illumination that I have been doing for the last many years, and all the wonderful people from all walks of life from around the world, and the things that they do, and the people they have become, and the love and the light that they share out. selfdiscoverywisdom.com. And I'm very grateful for being on this summit, and I hope that whatever I've said may spark an illumination inside of you. This is Sara Troy here, signing off. Thank you.